It's day 19, and we're getting close to that time when you'll continue this on your own or not. You'll just reflect on what you've already done. I decided to come to you from the lounge inside my house because there are children outside laughing and playing, and I am happy, and I consider it a gift of abundance that children in this day and age and in our culture and climate are able to play outside and laugh and giggle and run and not be afraid. So once I finish this, I'm going to go outside and listen to their laughter and enjoy it as God's abundant gift to me today. So in the meantime, we're going to go on with our lesson, and I want you to listen to this parable. And the parable is entitled, "This Too Shall Pass." And I want you to reflect on this parable, and in your notebook, write down your reflections. You'll have one more assignment, but just know that ahead of time, that you are expected to write in your notebook your reflections of this parable. So again, the parable is entitled, "This Too Shall Pass." There was a king, and he once said to the court sages, "I have a ring with one of the finest diamonds in the world, and I want to hide a message under the stone that can be useful in a situation of extreme despair. I will give this ring to my heirs, and I want it to serve them faithfully. Think of what kind of message I can leave there. It must be very short to fit in the ring." Now the sages knew how to write treaties, but did not express themselves in one short sentence. They thought and thought, but did not come up with anything. So the king complained about the failure of his venture to a faithful old servant who had raised him from infancy and was a part of the family. And the old man said to him, "I'm not a sage. I'm not educated, but I do know such a message. For many years spent in the palace, I met a lot of people, and once I served a visiting mystic whom your father invited, and he gave me this message. I ask that you don't read it right now. Save it under the stone and open it only when there's no way out at all." So the king listened to the old servant. And after some time, the enemies attacked the country, and the king lost the war. He fled on his horse, and his enemies pursued him. He was alone. His enemies were many. He rode to the end of the road. There was a huge, deep cliff before him. If he fell there, it would be the end. He could not go back as the enemies were approaching. He had already heard the clatter of their horses' hooves. He had no way out. He was in complete despair. And then he remembered the ring. He opened it and found an inscription, "This too shall pass." After reading the message, he felt that everything was quiet. Apparently, the pursuers got lost and proceeded in the wrong direction. Horses were no longer heard. The king was filled with gratitude to the servant and the unknown mystic. The words were powerful. He closed the ring and set out on the road home. He gathered his army and returned to his state. On the day when he returned to the palace, they arranged a magnificent banquet, a feast for the whole world. The people there loved their king. The king was happy and proud. And the old servant came up to him and said softly, "Even in this moment, look at the message again." The king said, "Now I am a winner. People are celebrating my return. I'm not in despair, not in a hopeless situation." "Listen to the old servant," the servant answered. The message works not only in moments when everything is bad, but also in moments of victory. So the king opened the ring and read, "This too shall pass." And again he felt a silence fall over him, although he was in the midst of a noisy, dancing crowd. His pride dissolved because he understood the message. He was a wise man. And then the old man said to the king, "Do you remember everything that happened to you? Nothing and no feeling is permanent. As night changes to day, so moments of joy and despair replace each other. Accept them as the nature of things, as a part of life." So please, your task is to write your reflections to that parable. We know that a prepositional phrase often found in Scripture says this, "and it came to pass." It's not just a preparational phrase, for every word in Scripture is important. And I think that's what the old man was trying to tell his king. Good, bad, joy, happiness, storms, peace. They'll pass. The only permanent thing that we know of is love, because God is love. But for everything else, we can't take as punishment and we can't take as permanent. We have to remember that things come to pass. So the second part of your task for today is look at the events in your life, both good and not so good, and consider the words of the parable and the words of Scripture. This too shall pass. That's what you have for today. The reflection over your own life, the reflection of this parable and what it means to you, what it can mean to you, even as you consider abundance. So our centering phrase for today is this: love is the only thing that is permanent and forever. Love is the only thing that is permanent and forever. And so now, beloved, we're getting ready for our meditation in silence. I would ask that you get yourself in a comfortable position. You would place your hands lightly in your lap with your palms facing upward. You begin to close your eyes and go internal to that place where God is waiting for you. And as you go, say to yourself this mantra silently in your head: it came to pass. It came to pass. Remember to use the mantra to ward off the distractions that will surely come. The body distractions, the mind distractions, the thoughts, the phone ringing. Use the mantra to center yourself, keep your focus, and to drive away the distractions. Saying it silently in your mind: it came to pass. And we begin our meditation at this moment now. Beloved, it's time to release the mantra, but say it one more time in your spirit so that you have it way deep down in there. It came to pass. Spend your day today reflecting on the parable and reflect on the events of your life, both good and challenging. And understand that you made it through them all. Nothing in your life came to stay. It came to pass. There were lessons along the way. There were things that God designed just for you to learn within those times. But you made it. And here you are, experiencing and enjoying abundance. And abundance sometimes comes in the form of a lesson. And so we are grateful that we are here to receive the message. I pray as you go about your day, you remember the centering phrase, that love is the only thing that's permanent and forever. And so, until tomorrow, I'll see you. Have an abundant day, and Selah.